the two of you. First of all, Mitch Foster, City Manager of Ludington, thanks for coming in and hanging out.
Not a problem, Chris. I'm kind of looking forward to a soggy Christmas. I hear if it's too dry, Santa can't land on roofs.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he'll put his air brakes on and just stop abruptly.
Exactly.
Presents can just slip down the chimney. I think
sounds ideal.
And go on. And as well, Mark Barnett, the mayor of Ludington, in the studio with us. Good morning, sir. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning. Thanks for letting me be here.
Absolutely. Let's and Mitch, you've got the backdrop of the snow that's coming down right now.
Yes, it's very beautiful right now. Every so often you see a plow truck driven probably by Mike Johnson, I think is who I saw, letting salt out the back. So hopefully the roads are getting a little bit dried up or a little bit better for everybody to travel on.
There you go. No green screens here. It's reality. That's what we're dealing with. It's the morning show, and we're talking with Mitch Foster, the city manager of Ludington, and Mark Burnett, the mayor of Ludington, this morning about a city council meeting coming up tonight at 6 p.m. And many of these conversations or parts of this conversation they're going to be talking about tonight, pretty much all of it, and you can be a part of that by just showing up at the city council meetings. Let's talk about the alternative committee members. That is on the list there, and I'm curious what's that all about.
So what the council has asked for, and the mayor really worked on this a lot with the city attorney, was each of our standing committees that are made up of city councilors have 3 members, trying to avoid quorum. Well, I mean, if you have one person missing, that means only 2 people are getting the information and making a decision. And so the mayor, along with a couple of city councilors, kind of worked with the attorney to draft up some language to allow for one additional council member who can be an alternate and a specific alternate just in case those circumstances pop up.
Okay. All right. Mr. Mayor, your thoughts behind that, why you wanted to do that?
Well, I just think it makes things more consistent. As Mitch said, you have somebody that's ready to go in, put me in coach kind of a thing. If there's something going on, they're aware of, in particular, the things that committee is working on. Of course, all the councilors get the minutes for the meetings, but as a standing alternate or a regular alternate makes you just that little bit more sure that you're going to keep up to speed as to what's going on, so that if and when the need comes, you just slide into the chair and make decisions along with the regular committee members. So we just think it's a good thing.
All right. And in regards to the legality of this, all of that, no issues in regards to that, right?
Nope. And that was why we had the city attorney involved, just to make sure that we could do this in a fair way, abiding by the Open Meetings Act. If it was a circumstance where we had 4 council members there all the time and they were making these decisions, that's a problem. But having 3 there and having one singular alternate for each of these committees, that's well within our ability to do so.
All right, looking forward to that. And is it a decision that the city council has to make, or what's the process tonight, Mr. Mayor? You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So tonight they'll make the mayor makes the appointment. The council gives consent in terms of the appointment. So we'll appoint the council will appoint the. Hello there,
listeners.
They'll council and the mayor will appoint the 3 committee members, and then the following meeting, I believe it's the first one in January, or second week in January. Then we'll consider appointing the regular alternates. So,
all right,
kind of a 2-step thing there, along with standing boards and committees, commissions, I should say. That'll be on the agenda as well tonight.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of DPW, just going by, thanks to the team there, making sure that the roadways are covered and, or at least clean and all that good stuff. We appreciate them. Speaking of the attorney, just a moment ago, the attorney for the city of Ludington, no changes there, but you still have a process to go about, right?
Yeah. Yep. Every year the attorney has to be appointed, and so as of right now, council is projected to, up to. Reappointing Ross Hammersley from the firm of Olson and Howard back to the city attorney's seat. It seems to be working out fairly well right now, and no changes on the horizon at least.
All right, looking forward to that. We have some changes at the Ludington Police Department. A couple changes there. You've got, we had Matt Murphy that came over from the city of Scottville after his time ended there. and he's been, I believe, promoted as well. And Sergeant Mike Havman. There's some changes there. I know Captain Wietrukowski, he's going over to the city of Scottville, so some shuffles happening. Do you mind laying it out for us? What's going on? Do you have all the details?
Oh man, this could be fun. Okay. All right, so it's like a cascading effect, of course, in any police department where the hierarchy is quite structured. You have Captain Wietrukowski, who after his illustrious career with LPD will be retiring at the end of this year. He is going on to work for our friends in Scottville, so he's looking forward to that. I know Jimmy Newkirk over there and the commission's looking forward to that as well. So with that retirement, Sergeant Haveman, we posted the position internally for a captain for someone to be promoted. Sergeant Haveman applied, went through the process. He has been selected, and tonight actually is his contract on the agenda for council to consider. But we anticipate him being appointed to the position of captain, which then opens up a sergeant seat, which, if I remember correctly, Jared Versluis, who is one of our officers currently, will be promoted to the sergeant seat. Let me just make sure. And then in the last couple of months, we have brought on both Matt Murphy as well as Austin Mendez. Austin joins us from the county sheriff's department as well, whereas Matt came over from Scottville via Oxy for a time being. So we've got a number of things happening. We've got some potential retirements into the new year. But yeah, a lot of shuffling happening at LPD. But it's all good. It's all good. We're happy for Sergeant Witro, or for Captain Witro, and we're happy for the other folks being promoted.
All right. Multiple questions about that. First, Mr. Mayor, you've had a chance to work with a few of these individuals over the years. Your thoughts in regards to our Ludington Police Department, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, I'm excited for Steve Wietrukowski. He's had a long career, 30-plus years, including his initial time in Fulton County, Georgia, the police department there. So he's had 28-plus years here at the city of Ludington. Been a great member of the police department, very consistent, very proactive, and appreciated all of his efforts here and his service to the citizens and the visitors of Ludington. And I wish him well. I think he'll do a great job in Scottville. Excited. Sergeant Haveman came in as a seasonal officer at the beach when I was, I think, probably the first or second year that I was here. He started with the police department and done a really good job. He's a real proactive guy. I think you'll know from a couple of the initiatives that have happened here recently. His passion really is, or one of his passions is community policing and involving the community, involving the officers, being proactive in that sense. And I know that he and Chief Jones are kind of kindred spirits in that regard. So looking forward to seeing the job that he'll do as a captain. And just in general, the various officers that are getting close to retirement, looking forward to wishing them a great retirement. I know that they've done a great job. And so when the time comes, I'm sure those names will be released, and we'll look forward to congratulating them.
All right. Good information there. Let's stay on this point for just a moment. So the agreement with Mike Haveman, what's that process like? That's, I would assume, a contract that you go through. You don't have to talk about the details, but the process, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're trying to set up and make sure that we have a way that our current officers can continue to see positive promotional opportunities is to have a way where they can essentially exit the union without having to have the same benefits. And so that's partly why we have this contract in place. It's very similar to the police chief's contract, where they are no longer a part of the police pension program. They can retire out of that, and then they can start moving into a defined contribution or a 457 plan. So it's really trying to make it attractive for an officer who's been with us for 20-plus years and going into that captain's role. In all reality, they're not making as much as they used to as an officer because they don't get the large amount of overtime and those sorts of items. And so it would hurt their pension in all reality. And so why would I be incentivized for my retirement to go down or potentially be frozen versus, hey, let's retire out of this, and then there's a 457 plan waiting for me, which is additional and new. So just trying something new to try to help incentivize folks to stick around and want to be promoted within the organization.
And just so that the listeners know that in that 457 program, there's a retirement element of that, so that even though the pension is discontinued, that they're still taken care of after retirement.
Exactly. It's like a 401k for the public sector. Yep.
All right. We are talking with Mitch Foster, City Manager of Ludington, Mark Barnett, Mayor of Ludington this morning. And we talked about the City Attorney. That's continuing that agreement. Mike Havman going from Sergeant to Captain. And that's pretty much a done deal. That's decided at this point. You just have to finalize the contract. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And let's move on to the New Year's Eve. Those activities taking place in downtown Ludington. The ball drop is happening. The fireworks that needs to be approved. Last year, I bring it up only because it's probably part of why it's been changed a little bit. The location there is there's a little bit of flames on top of a building, and we want to make sure that the Masonic Temple there, that's where they were launched off last year. That this was moved down South James Street. But give us the background, if you don't mind, Mitch, and the reasoning for the move at this point.
So last New Year's, we lit, still at that point in time, we lit the fireworks off at New Year's off of the Sportsman's Building. And then we switched to the Masonic Temple for Love Ludington weekend. For obvious reasons, the types of roofs that they have, especially at the Sportsman's, where they've got a brand new roof now over there, the DDA and the chamber were able to work out an agreement with Dr. Reamer, who owns the bank building, the old State Bank downtown, to light off the fireworks up there. Ludington Fire Department has been up there. The building inspector's been up there to just make sure, all right, here's what we've got to do on this roof. It frankly gives them a little bit more space around it to prevent any potential issues from popping up. But they've worked out a really good arrangement with him, and so that'll be on the agenda for tonight for council approval.
Okay. And Mr. Mayor, any concerns, questions? Does this process go pretty smoothly?
Yeah, the fireworks, just the crowd is always just a wonderful crowd. People just travel from all over really to get here and to see the fireworks, take part in the festivities, and it's been a great event over the years. And so the fireworks is just one more thing that adds to the celebratory atmosphere, and it's just we look forward to it.
All right, looking forward to that. As part of that event is the LMTA, the Drive Safe and Sober program. I'm not sure how many years this has been going on, but Mr. Mayor, you probably know a little bit of history in regards to this. Do you mind sharing that with us this morning?
Sure. Well, what the police department, the city of Ludington, DDA, all of those that were involved in downtown in the New Year's Eve ball drop, were really looking for a way to get people to and from, whether it's hotels or whether it's their homes or whatever, and bring them downtown and get them home safely. It's no secret that there might be a drink or two, alcoholic beverage, adult beverage, whatever you want to call it, involved in the celebration of New Year's. And so we really wanted to do what we could at the very beginning and each year since then to make that an enjoyable, trouble-free sort of a situation. And LMTA has been a great partner in providing that transportation and getting folks back and forth. And I know people really appreciate it. I know some of the motels, they market to that. They create that. They consider that a really positive thing for their guests to be able to come, step on a bus, come down, get back to their room, and families around Scottville, Ludington, and areas a little north and a little south of the 10 corridor really make good use of it too. And I think seems to me like the ridership year to year is somewhere around 1,300 people, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, a great program to keep a lot of people safe, and we'll tell you a little bit more. Ludington Mass Transit's part of that. You've got the Ludington Police Department. And then the towing companies, which is kind of neat. The Fires Towing, Abrahamson's, Quinn's, Oceana, they all have come on aboard to make sure that the vehicle, Mitch, is able to get to that person's home so that when they wake up the next day, they don't have to be trying to scramble and try to get transportation back downtown, right?
Yeah, it's a unique program that I'm not, or offering that I'm not sure a lot of other communities have, just because it's trying to work with our residents and our visitors to make sure everybody's safe. And as the mayor talked about, it's something that the DEA, the police department, and all of these partnering organizations said, this is important. If we want to make this event very successful, we've got to make it successful for everybody. And so whether that is families, whether that is individuals or couples, we've got to make it a safe place for everybody.
All right, great information there. And thanks to the taxi cab companies, Judy's Lakeside Rides teaming up there, Ludington Beverage, a big sponsor to help fund it, to make sure that people are safe. And that's the nice thing about it. They are able to come downtown, enjoy the environment and the experience, and not put them in harm's way. So that's good.
Chris, one thing in addition to the rides that I don't think we've talked about before with New Year's, the Chamber has a program, Placer AI, that can tell people where, just based on big data, where people are coming from to visit us for different events. And so if I remember last year, for a lot of Ludington weekend, we had people coming from all over Michigan for Love Ludington. I think it'd be interesting to have the conversation with Brandy Miller at the Chamber about, hey, where are people coming from? Let's look at the report after New Year's. Where are people coming from? Are they coming from the UP? Are they coming from the East Side? Are they coming from Chicago? Because we get so many people that will come to town just specifically for New Year's. It's pretty exciting.
All right, and it's very true. It's nice to be able to see that. And it's the biggest ball drop here in West Michigan, at least, or if not the state of Michigan, which is kind of nice. We always have the Detroit people do their own thing, so it's all right. It is Mitch Foster, the city manager of Ludington, in the studio with us. Mark Barnett, mayor of Ludington, as well. We have one of our other topics, lofts on Row. The approval of the amendment for the brownfield development there. Do you mind giving us a quick update in regards to that, Mitch, there?
Yeah, so the situation with Lofts on Row is that there was a brownfield agreement approved back a couple of years ago now. Now that the project is done and they're starting to collect increment on that, there was no kind of arrangement as to what percentage of the taxes that they paid are going to pay back them versus go to pay back the city for some expenses we had. And so this agreement kind of sets that up. Plus, there's dollars that are required to go to the state of Michigan as well. So this amendment kind of deals with all of those kind of timelines and percentages of payments.
Okay, all right. And then our final topic, Mr. Mayor, that I have, maybe you have an additional topic, is budgeting for tonight. We're getting closer to closing out 2023. Cities work on a calendar-based budget, I assume, right? 12-month budget there from a calendar-based. Let's talk about what's the plans and what's the conversation like in regards to the City of Ludington budget.
Well, I can tell you that Mitch and Jackie and Deb have done just an outstanding job working with the department heads, and having gone through it a number of times, I know it's a tough situation because everyone has priorities, right? And everybody has things that they think are important and valuable to the city, and so it's really a matter of orchestrating all of those and prioritizing those needs and seeing what funds are available to take care of those things and to implement programs and handle capital expenses and that type of thing. So they've done a great job. This is the meeting of the year that budget needs to be approved in order to hit January 1st running and funded.
All right, Mitch, any hurdles that could come from tonight's meeting, or do you see that the budget, we understand that there's higher expenses going into next year.
Yep.
Does that mean for the residents, higher taxes, higher fees? What are we foreseeing?
So tax rates aren't changing, and those are actually set in the summer, but we don't anticipate the tax rate changing. But because everybody's property value went up 5-ish%, they'll see that cost increase, but they've already seen that from this past year's taxes. However, what we are seeing for this year's budget at least is we're going to spend a deficit, so we're going to spend more than we take in this year. It's just a reality of where we're at in the budget. The next 2 years, we've got some concessions that have already been kind of decided by staff to say, hey, we need to give this up in order to bring this budget back into a real place. And so those have already essentially been made. They will be presented to council in the new year, just so that council sees, hey, staff is willing to make these concessions so that we can be in a good place from a budget standpoint. There's one change. I think it's just one change that we're adding to the budget post public hearing on the budget or post presentation, which is we're increasing some line items in the mayor and city manager's office so that city council, supervisors, and members of the community can go through a strategic planning process for the city. We have not had one in a few years, and that one was done literally the month before COVID hit. And so none of those things were practical at that point in time. And so the hope is that we can go through the strategic planning process with council, with supervisory staff, with members of the community, identify what's important to everybody, and be able to start setting those spending priorities as well moving forward so that council, staff, and the community all feel like they're rowing the boat in the same direction. Why did I just used a Minnesota phrase. That hurts me.
That's all right.
But yeah.
That's okay. Well, we appreciate considering this because obviously people like the term of just kind of reeling in expenses, being able to get budget back in focus there. So let's before we wrap up this morning, and Hudson the radio dog might bark a little bit. We have somebody that just came in the lobby, so it just happens. But let's. I asked both of you a question the last time, so I wonder if you did your homework. And the homework was this: is that what can we expect in 2024, things that you're looking forward to, things that could be new, could be exciting to the city of Ludington. Mr. Mayor, do you want to start there?
Yeah, I think I should start off by being polite and offer the opportunity to go
that's
first
good.
to the city manager.
That's good. I don't mind.
Okay, fine.
For me, it's the strategic plan. I think that it's going to be a public involved process. We're trying to work on some survey mechanisms so that we can get that out to the public. We're going to try to get some retreat days for council and supervisors to take that material and to review it and to look at the future. I think it'll showcase a lot of what the citizens and some of our visitors are looking for, some of our partners and nonprofits and businesses, and council and staff can then take that and determine where are we going, what are the top 4 items that are important to everybody, and then how do we accomplish that? What does it look like in 10 years if you're living in the city of Ludington or visiting? And so to me, that's a really could be a very, very impactful item for the next 10, 15 years.
All right, looking forward to that and exploring that as well as we approach 2024. Mr. Mayor, any thoughts in regards to your side of things?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. First of all, I know the city continually looks for ways to partner, in with various other local units of government, and perhaps one of these ways of partnering is to begin looking in terms of infrastructure and that type of thing, and seeing how we might come together and provide those services on a wider basis than each individual entity. So that's something that I personally would like to see us look at. I'd like to see us make some progress in terms of how we might be able to find funding for local streets. I think that's a big deal, and it's going to continue to be a big deal. So that would be, again, a personal goal of mine is to find ways to be able to do that and make improvements there, and then other ways of partnering, perhaps with the parks and that type of thing. So I think it's those are 3 areas that I would hope that not only in 2024 but thereafter find ways to make strides in those areas.
All right, sounds good. We anything else on the docket? We're pretty good. We've focused on anything else, or is there some on your notes, Mitch, that you have for tonight's meeting?
I don't think I've got anything else other than the end of the meeting, as with every year, is my review. And so council gets to review me. However, I also hear generally from the public on a regular basis. So tonight will be closed session to talk about my review. But beyond that, I don't think there's anything else on there that's of note for me tonight.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, do you bring a bat or anything for him?
Oh, no. He's, Mitch he's just extraordinary to work with, and I just have appreciated his talents and his depth of knowledge, and so I think tonight will go real well, and just appreciate the job he's doing.
All right, sounds good. See, there you go. Okay. You don't have to sweat. You don't have to,
We'll take it.
okay, there you go.
Then I'll go on Concerned Locals later, and
Get beat up.
hopefully I'll get a different type of feedback then too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's good. Well, we appreciate both of you coming in. Drive safely out there, and for everybody else out there as well, we'll check that forecast coming up in just a few minutes here on 102.7 Mom FM and Hot Country Hits. If you missed any of this segment, you can watch it on our Facebook pages, either the Hot Country Hits Facebook page or the WMOM Facebook page. Our YouTube channel has an archive of it too there. So keep it out. Keep looking out for these segments as we move into the new year as well.